I was having a conversation with someone, I don't know, earlier this week or last week, and they were talking about a journey that they wanted to take from New York to Miami to LA, I think is where it was. And they were, their focus seemed to be about how fast they could make that happen. And it was kind of like, what popped in my mind was kind of like what we just talked about the improvements that we're seeing around here. And it's that, our journey, while we have a destination, it's the journey itself is where we learn and where we grow and where we experience the journey. It's not in the destination. When we rush to get from point A to point B, we also get there and realize something's still missing. We've got to go do more. So this all got my mind going in circles to come back, and this morning when I woke up to go and start working on my message for today, this popped back in. So I related it to our oneness with God. And here's how I got there. We all strive from birth to death to get to death and beyond, depends on our beliefs, as our destination. Now, just like this guy's journey, we can choose a little go-kart and take our time and experience everything, or we can choose a Lamborghini and go just as fast as you can imagine, or we can take a ship and go on a cruise and get all the way around there, or we can take a Learjet and fly all the way across it all, just miss everything. But each one of those ways has an experience to it. Every possible way to travel from New York to Miami to LA has an experience involved, if we choose to experience it. We can rush through life looking only for the end result, and we miss out on so much. Most of us, if you've had any religious upbringing at all, I know I have, I was taught I was a sinner and I was unworthy of what God has to offer at the end. That was what I was taught. It's what most of us were taught. That is the same thing as saying, no matter what we do, no matter how we get there, the end is all that matters. And I do not believe that God created us to live that way. We did not come to this earth as broken pieces of creation. If that were true, that means that God is capable of creating something less than perfect. I don't buy that. I don't think that the creator of the entire universe, the creator of all, is capable of anything imperfect. I think that when we look at imperfect things, we see it that way because of our perception. When we look at our life as broken, as sinful, as unworthy, it's because we have skewed our perception of what perfection is. We have skewed our perception of what God is capable of creating. We can look at life as we're sinful, we're unworthy, we're undeserving, but if we act a certain way, we're gonna be rewarded in the end. We can look at it that way. That's fine. If that works for you, that's fine. That is like saying, I'm going to continue driving this go-kart when a Lamborghini is available to me. I can continue putting along here believing that I am less than, that I am lacking, that I am unworthy, when I know that there's a possibility that I am one with God. And in that, I'm capable of amazing experience. I am capable of expressing myself in a divine light. I'm capable of expressing myself as God. We have choices. We talk about this every Sunday, about being one with God. Well, I've just talked a little bit about why that's so hard to understand. Okay? When we're taught we're sinners, we're unworthy, we're undeserving, we have a choice of letting that belief go and going to I am one with God, or we can continue seeing I am one with God as something that happens in the afterlife. That's your choice. That's your choice. I am choosing to be one with God. Now, how do we do that? That's the difficult thing. We talk about it all the time. I guess before we talk about how we do it, let's talk about what is it. Being one with God is being truly that expression of divine, the expression of the Christ mind, the expression of God within you. When you are there, when you truly are one with God, it goes beyond the understanding that there's more available to you. It's like I'm driving the go-kart along. I know the Lamborghini's there, but I choose not to go there because I'm undeserving. It's the same way of saying I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner. I know that I can be an expression of God, but I'm choosing to be this. This new thought teaching tells a lot of people that there is more. You know, a lot of people are going, okay, there is, but I got to deserve it. I got to get there. You know, I got. You know, someday this go-kart's going to wear out, and then I'll look at that. Okay. Being one with God is a choice that you can make right now, and being one with God is going beyond the intellectual knowing. Being one with God is experiencing the love, whether you are by yourself, with a loved one, in a group of huggers. You know, Kathy and I used to go to used to work some seminars, and we looked like a group of, seminar about hugging, because there was so much love in the room. It was just, you're always hugging someone. Or it felt like you're always hugging someone. It wasn't all about hugging by any means. But being one with God, you are truly loved. You are truly blessed. You are at peace no matter what's happening around you. Your perception of life totally changes. When you see those things that look like they're broken, or they look like they are evil or bad, you are reminded that that is just your perception. The way we get there, the way we live as one with God, is first to recognize God in everything, God in all. God is omnipresent. He is everywhere, or she is everywhere, or it is, however you refer to God, is everywhere. God is in all. When that's true, how can anything be evil? We may see a portion of that and identify it as evil, but there's a story that goes around the whole thing. And when you are looking at the expansiveness and the vastness of God, you can see it all. And when you can see it all, you can experience it all. And when you can experience it all, you express it all. So in every step, in every word, in every thought, in every feeling, you are an expression of God. So the first step is to recognize God is in all. The second step, is to allow your consciousness of God. It's to allow the knowing, the feeling, the experience of oneness with God in everything you do. And go back to our mode of transportation. We are going from point A to point B. When we choose to see God and all, that kind of causes us to say, okay, we're going to experience this journey. We're going to see this journey for what it really is. This consciousness of all is to know that whatever mode of transportation we take, it's absolutely perfect. It's to know that there are options to us and to choose the one that works for us. Experiencing God is to allow it to happen. We have it. Whether you want to or not, God is within you. Don't care what your belief system is. You can say, I'm an atheist. Well, okay, you can be that, but God's still in you. You know? You can claim whatever you want. The truth is, you are a spiritual being. You are one with God. Now you get to accept it. You get to allow it. Or you can choose not to. But if you want to be one with God, it's accepting. It's just allowing that truth to come forth, to rise up to a level that you can actually experience it. We have done a great job through judgments and comparing, through our ego, through everything imaginable, to shove that part of us down because we don't feel worthy. We don't feel deserving. We don't feel as if we should be making a claim that we are one with God. When you make that claim and you go, that might have just been a big sin, as some people will say, you are looking at it through the eyes of ego. You are not looking at it through the eyes of God. If I make that claim as a way to get over an illness, I'm one with God, so I'm healthy, then I'm looking at it through ego. It is very easy to find connection to God when we're ill, or when we are lacking financially, or when things are just kind of upside down for us in life. It's real easy to I'm one with God. And when you take on that belief, things will change for you. But it's when you live from that belief in good times as well that you are truly allowing oneness with God. You are truly allowing that connection to become your highest value. That's the third way, or the third step in being one with God. Or recognizing it would be a better way to say it. Recognizing that you are one with God. You already are one. Just recognizing it. Put your highest value as living as an expression of God. That does not mean that you go and give up everything you've already done. It doesn't mean to go and change your whole life. It doesn't mean to stop doing anything. It means make oneness with God your highest priority, your highest value. And from that, everything else finds its proper place. You know, I know, and I'm going to call a name here. Gloria and I share an obsession, not an obsession, but a desire to be millionaires. If that's our highest priority, and then oneness with God is somewhere else, I can guarantee you we probably won't get there. Okay? We might get lucky and win the lottery. We might get lucky and go hit a jackpot at the casino. We might. There's a lot of mights. When we have God and our oneness with God as our highest value, that $1 million desire is going to find its proper place in our life. And what needs to be next in line is going to go to next in line. And what needs to be third in line is going to go to what's third in line. When we open ourselves and allow oneness with God to rise to the top value in our life, everything finds its proper place. It doesn't mean that anything we're doing is wrong. Doesn't mean that anything we're doing needs to be let go. Some of it will be let go, but it doesn't make us right or wrong, good or bad. It's just that when we go and put the proper things into the top spot on value, everything else falls in line. Oneness with God. We talk about it all the time. It is something that is available to each and every one of us. It is something that will direct our lives no matter how we look at it. One way or the other, it's going to show up in our life. We can choose to allow it. We can choose to let ourselves be an expression of God. Excuse me. We choose it. Recognize God in all. Consciously make the choices. Get your priorities where they need to be. And all you have to do is make that one priority be top in line. Choose first to be one with God and to allow that to express through you. And I promise the rest of your life is going to fall right where it needs to be.